afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today again a 1 vs 1 on Semois, but daytime Semois. We shall be watching Cobrasfumantes fighting for the Americans, taking on the fight for the 2nd Armored Division, going up against Paracaidistas of the 91st Luftlande Division, an air landing division that is a glider division, but the thing was, rather after the whole Crete incident, it was rather mothballed as that and turned into a regular infantry division, which was tasked with holding parts of Normandy, more in particular the Cotentin Peninsula. So, a bit of fun there. And we are seeing a free pioneer start out here from Paracaidistas and a free engineer start from Cobrasfumantes. But difference is, Cobrasfumantes is building a barracks. Paracaidistas is not building a Wehrmacht quarters. So, looks like Paracaidistas is going for the forward barrack start, which is definitely a bit rarer to see. But definitely Semois is one of the maps to do it on. You usually then, as the Wehrmacht, if you start up here, take up positions in this house and turn it into a forward barracks. Of course, the question is, will he do that? Oh, well, apparently not. I wonder what he's doing then. But we are seeing Cobrasfumantes advancing slowly, securing territory. So far, so good. Although Paracaidistas does seem to have the slight advantage, since he wasn't busy building any buildings, at least for now. But could it be he wants to set up in the cafe? That would, besides upsetting René, the cafe owner, also be a slightly less optimal position of the forward barracks. Usually want this here because as a building it's much more sheltered. It's harder for your opponent to get to in terms of getting and decapping it, nor will, for example in this case, also be a target for, well, anti-tank guns. So not the best position, plus of course you have to take another point to get to it, whereas just going for this one basically necessitates only getting, well, that point and moving on. So delayed forward barracks start from Paracaidistas, and already there, of course, due to this, we are seeing a lot of manpower being floated for him. Engineers moving up, going to engage the pioneers up there. Engineers moving up west. We are likely going to be using riflemen soon. In fact, they're down south, heading up to hit the right-hand side. And of course, Paracaidistas will be unable to have any infantry to stop it. Although right, of course, way he's getting 2 full-scale squads, but still, he will be delayed, and that will likely hurt him in the first few minutes. So we'll of course have to see how that one works out. Pioneers are coming down to fire from the riflemen advancing out. Munitions point being secured there, but likely will be deterred, if not harassed, by the riflemen over there. Considerably more well armed than the pioneers currently. And there we go, the first full-scale squad is out from the forward barracks. Pioneers trying to keep the riflemen occupied while more infantry is moving up, but no, well, yes, come on, make up your mind, Paracaidistas. Make up your mind now. The pioneers take up position inside this small structure. Coming under fire from the riflemen. And they're likely not going to survive this. And there we go, the pioneers are dead. At the same time, pioneers take up position in the church. At the same time, the rifleman squad pushes up there. Already, Paracaidistas is under a lot of pressure. And again, he's losing pioneers again due to the delayed start of his forward barracks. Again, a poor move right there in the first few minutes of the game, which is definitely giving Cobrasfumantes quite the advantage against him. Looks like he's sending most of his infantry now to the right-hand side, trying to deal with the riflemen over there. But of course, there's still the ones. Then he could risk losing the forward barracks if he's not careful. And Steiner is dead. Apparently, the Americans got him. Another full-scale is down. More full-scales moving up to support the first one. That should do away with the riflemen, although we could see one squad of full-scales being pushed away. They need to retreat now. Come on, Paracaidistas, Rückzug, down to 1 man. And oh dear, he's going to lose the squad because we're seeing another squad moving in to intercept. Again, Paracaidistas is having a rubbish start. The idea is nice, but again, unit preservation is not good, and again, the delay is hurting him considerably. At the same time, he's lost access to the fuel point. 3rd squad of full-scales on the way, and there we go, the riflemen are finally pushed away, but losses have been heavy on Paracaidistas and the 91st Luftlande Division. Pioneers are dead, full-scales are dead, and he could now very well lose the forward barracks as riflemen are advancing, although we do see another squad of full-scales soon ready as well. And there we go. The appearance of another one forces away the riflemen into slightly more safer environments. But a rough start with some Considerable mistakes right there, but looks like Paracaidistas is stabilizing the situation now, so hopefully he might be able to turn around this ship before it goes the way of the Bismarck. Cobrasfumantes is already gearing up for another assault. He's got so far 3 riflemen squads to support his 3 engineer squads. No flamethrowers though at the moment. Oh wait, there we go now. And we're seeing Browning automatics, so Cobrasfumantes going for a pretty aggressive move himself. Again, 3 engineers for his riflemen, getting BARs for them, getting flamethrowers for the engineers. Cobrasfumantes is definitely gearing up for the full assault, and we're seeing Blitzkrieg at the same time for Paracaidistas. And there we go, the assault's going forward. The Volks is already there, risking getting outmanned, although 1 rifleman falls at the outskirts of the market square. Something moving up there. Additional Volksgunners moving up out in the south. The assault continues, lots of riflemen, flamethrowers, and another angle of the assault going in from the north. This is a full push towards the cafe and the forward barracks established within it. Rifleman drops. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And there we go. We're seeing assault going in straight on the 2 advancing rifle squads. And he thought there was a rifleman up there cutting. Oh dear, he was out faked. Oh dear, Cobrasfumantes lost his nerve. Cobrasfumantes lost his nerve. He retreated the wrong unit because he thought that was getting grenaded. Instead, he was lobbing both grenades at the other part of the assault. And so, Paracaidistas was able to overtake all 3 rifle squads and the engineers. Talk about an engagement right there. Lots of grenades, lots of death, and again Cobrasfumantes lost it. He misjudged the situation and he actually handed that engagement over to Paracaidistas. Bloody close. He could have won it again had he not retreated that unit again. He probably again thought it was being grenaded. That was definitely something. Flamethrower is moving up at the Volksgunners, although they are quite engaged, they are quite outnumbered. And there we go, down. Volksgunner catches on fire. Munitions point down south being secured. So far the 91st Luftlande Division is securing most of the map, advancing out. More pioneers joining up. And finally going for the skirmish phase. Finally, endlich. Trias end up to help Cobrasfumantes get his troops back on their feet. Sandbags going up, establishing a fortified position on the road. Although we do quite here see Cobrasfumantes pushing forwards. Need to stop laying down sandbags. And there we go, another assault against the troops in the middle of the road. And that actually with negative cover could end up doing quite a bit of damage. And there we go, the engineers, the riflemen take some nasty losses. Although the Volksgunners themselves took also a beating in the process and are ultimately pushed away. Paracaidistas' attempt at a cutoff was short-lived. Rifleman pushing away the pioneers in the south. Skirmish phase up, and he's in fact taking onwards. He is going for the Sturm Armory. He's going for the armoured cars to help deal with the riflemen. He's going to hope for some assistance from the SS 17th Panzer Grenadier Division, or possibly a Panzer Division to fight some armoured cars.
Pioneer team ready.
So definitely some nasty stuff there. Observation post up for Paracaidistas on the high munitions. Interesting. Ram going up, and again another Blitzkrieg assault. So clearly a rather infantry assault heavy strategy from Paracaidistas. And there we go, Rifleman getting stunned, getting wounded. The Volksgunners again could win this, and assault Blitzkrieg ability that is can actually be something that can give your Volksgunners an advantage one-on-one, but it is also an expensive ability to gain your advantage one-on-one. But we do see that Paracaidistas has fought a bit forwards and is actually getting the observation post to sort of help that on its way. But even then, I mean, he's going to be draining an awful lot of munitions. And he's already down to 50, although he's getting 58 per minute. That's still per minute. So, I mean, he's going to only be using this ability once per minute if he's not careful. And there we go. Sturm Armory going up for Paracaidistas. Second Armoured pushing forward in the face of the 91st Luftlande. Motor pool going up. Some mechanized cavalry by the looks of things. Volksgunners advancing, points being taken, and there we go, the observation post is under fire from the Americans, which could very well go down, and thus will not quite have helped Paracaidistas as much as he's liked. Of course, he could send the Volksgunners in to deal with it. Victory points have all 3 been taken by the Germans, but are now falling. And there we go, also going for the observation, forward barracks, I mean. And going for the cut-off point, realizing he can't do this fast enough, so he's just going to cut it off and deny the resources. That way, nice prioritizing from Cobrasfumantes. Volkskriegs moving in. We could see another blitzkrieg assault down there. Volkskriegs falls away the engineers. Will we see the assault? Yes, indeed. Assault going in. Angreifen, Sturm, die Amerikaner und Infanterie. And there we go. A bunch of grenades going out, blowing in synchronicity. Another squadron squad moving up. More Volkskriegs moving out. Sturm Army up. 17th says we're providing armored car support. Schwerer Panzerspielwagen Unterstützung. And there we go. The motor pool is up for Cobrasfumantes. Wehrmacht advancing into the center. Pioneers all moving out towards the north. Pretty heavy pioneer force from the 91st Luftlande Division.
Yes, sir.
Where the large part of the division met its, well, demise on the Cotentin Peninsula in, I can't remember the town right now. It's part of the Coming Heroes campaign, actually the original one. And did result in the Germans pretty much blowing up all of the harbour equipment there, so the Americans really couldn't use it after all. Cobrasfumantes is detailing a smaller force for the south and larger one for the north. And the pioneers moving in. Of course, he could consider wiring off. And oh dear, looks like a BAR has been dropped right here by the church. Although seems like they can't see it. I mean, from the current standard angle, it's in fact in the blind spot of the church, which is interesting. And it's actually, whoops, didn't mean to press that button, but press this button. Cobrasfumantes pushing forwards, and there we go, the armoured car rolling forward, going to harass the infantry, and there we go, by Paracaidistas some time. At the same time, it looks like an American armoured car is soon to be done as well.
We're here. Someone
So there we go, the American Greyhound out. And immediately getting all the upgrades, the armoured skirts, and the 50 caliber machine gun. So that should actually be a threat to the German armoured car, unless of course you upgrade it to a Puma, in which case you might have a chance against the Greyhound. Pushing forwards, Pioneers in a bit of trouble getting pushed away, though they have managed to cut off the Americans. At the same time, smaller force pushing up here again towards the cutoff and the high munitions point. Bunker going up there would be a nice idea with the medic bunker, considering the infantry and of course the fact he's going for the forward barrack start. Of course he might decide not to, and there we go. Armoured car getting the Greyhound. The Greyhound though seems to be targeting the infantry, ignoring the armoured car and allowing it to get away unscathed. That was a bit of an unfortunate move right there by Paracaidistas, and we're seeing Rangers arriving now. Infantry instruction has been chosen. Rangers arriving to lead the way with their bazookas, and could very well be equipped with the Thompson submachine guns. Second armoured car out for Paracaidistas. Rather moving up. Greyhound could also be laying down Greyhound mines, and oh, he's done it actually. That's nice. Greyhound mines can be quite devastating, in particular to infantry. Will the Greyhound hunt down the German armoured cars? Because that could definitely cause Paracaidistas a bit of a headache. And there we go. Greyhound moving in, gets off a nice hit on the rear of the armoured car. Engineers pushed away though by the German armoured cars. American armoured car moving in. The Greyhound shoots up a Volkskriegs as well. 50 caliber raking the ground and the fence behind them. Rangers following up to provide some heavier support. Another Volkskriegs here looks to be close to death. And the armoured cars heading towards the American base. Oh dear, they're going to be sneaking around, going in circles, throwing off all pursuers, and might even have a clear route. Although we do see sticky bombs now up for Paracaidistas, but look, I mean Cobrasfumantes, but looks like Paracaidistas is already onto him. Figuring that might be the case, he's moving away. Armoured cars filing away, gutting an American rifleman. Greyhound though continues. Rear armoured car down to half health and constantly trying to get off the sticky bomb, but the armoured cars are too fast due to the roads, giving it a small speed bonus. It looks like a unit actually went down for Paracaidistas somewhere. Oh yes indeed, mine went off and looks like a Volksgrenadier squad bit the dust. That is definitely going to hurt Paracaidistas and the 91st Luftlande Division. Greyhound seems to have been panzer-fausted a bit as well, but it looks like a large American force supported by Rangers is now advancing up through the center, or the south actually. They might be making their way towards the center. And Sturmgeschütz now arriving from the 17th SS, 91st Luftlande Division, from what I know, did not have Stuks on their own. They might have had Martyrs, and that's about it. Usually most infantry divisions have Martyrs in a small tank destroyer company attached to them. Stuks would rather be the exception rather than the rule in those cases. 352nd Infantry Division being one of those. And then that company was then made to be a brigade, but that was only to deceive the Allies. It was still about the same size as a company. And I don't think the Americans were fooled anyways. But Germans pushing in with Volksgrenadier, Armored Car and Sturmgeschütz. Point falling there. Mining going on there, although less well mined since of course the enemy sees it and of course even gets one engineer. And the Sturmgeschütz 4 will not be in company heroes 2. We will simply getting the Sturmgeschütz 3, the more numerous produced cousin of it. Well, the first one. So that should be fun. Nice hit on the rifle right there, down to 2 men. And going for the forward barracks again, although we do see a swift counter-attack going in from Paracaidistas, although we do see the armored car supporting it. And the Stuk is a bit far removed. On the other hand, the second Stuk is now arriving for Paracaidistas. And, oh! Goliath went off there and did nothing. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Just knocking out a lot of dirt and ruining the road. Really. Paracaidistas ruining the road. Of course, he's only going to make it harder for himself to move through there because craters do slow down vehicles a bit in most cases. Round here, they're taking us. Greyhound gets away. Stuks, both of them miss. Damaged engine on the armored car. And looks like Cobrasfumantes continues with a small assault tactics down south, sending in a heavily armed force ready to deal with any vehicles. And there we go. Armored car could go down. Anti-tank namely is following up on the infantry force. Stuks are advancing. Veterans 1 up. And there we go. Armored car out of control. That is 1 down. 1 down. The other one with the damaged engine. There we go. Takes a hit. And the Rangers finish it off. 2 armored cars went down. And at the same time they form an excellent road blocking position for Cobrasfumantes to use heavy cover to hold that cutoff point. Talk about good fortune, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think you'll ever see 2 armored car wrecks so nicely positioned to go for that cutoff point and basically hold up the enemy. Taking up the south, and there we go. The observation post is gone, although I imagine it would still have provided Paracaidistas with quite a bit of munitions. Another anti-tank gun on the way to help against the evil Kraut foe, while the northern victory point is falling to pioneers. Paracaidistas' infantry, though, is not doing too well. He's down to 2 Volksgrenadier squads, one with 2 BARs, though, so that's nice, but both low on health and no veterancy forward. He should at least consider getting veterancy 1 to help them heal up. Would definitely benefit him in the longer run, and would definitely also mean he's just feeding his opponent less experience.
This rate will be taking Berlin by Christmas.
Anti-tank gun on the way. Grenades on the way.
We are losing contact with one of our sectors.
We have finished construction.
Need something?
Stuks moving out.
57 crew, ready for orders.
Grenades have arrived.
There we go, grenades ready.
Range artillery is standing by.
And on-map howitzers now ready as well. By the sound of things, although he's also got, of course, the off-map. And an observation post on the field, clearly getting prepared for some sort of armored tactics. Anti-tank gun moving up. And there we go. Assault again being thrown out by the Volksgrenadiers. But instead, they end up wasting 50 munitions as they quickly retreat. A bit of an unfortunate situation right there. 3 Stuks holding up the front line for Paracaidistas, but without much infantry support, they could get overwhelmed, in particular since they've only got Veterans 1, thus not Veterans 2 and the MGs, which could have helped a bit against the infantry. So there we go. That should make it harder for Cobrasfumantes to directly assault the Stuks and throw them out. But we do also see an advance going up for Cobrasfumantes from the south. Having secured that, he is making a further advance. Could again lay up a blocking position right there against the Germans. Anti-tank and slowly advancing from here as well, going after the Stooks. Looks like the bunker under here is coming from the fire. There we go, Stooks getting pushed back with heavy damage. Victory points are falling.
Construction complete.
And there we go, mines going up by the roadblock. Stooks moving up against the engineers, and there you go, quickly suppressing them with a nice dual MGs. And there does not seem to be much that Cobrasfumantes can do about it at the current moment, lacking something that can swiftly hunt them down. But at the same time, he does hold Paracaidistas a bit by the throat at the moment, and let's go in fact return to him. Short on infantry, got several Stooks, getting a Nebelwerfer. And he's not been using any further command points. He could consider getting some stormtroopers out, getting some heavy infantry out to take on the Americans. Might benefit him considerably. Tank traps going down for Cobrasfumantes to block off this further. A nice bold move. But ran into some problems. It looks like the Americans have dropped it, and we do hear the Nebelwerfer howling, getting ready to strike out the Americans.
Reserves hold an assault force for us. We need deployment location.
And there we go, the mine went off, destroying the entire roadblock, leaving behind only the tank trap. Stooks and Fulskers continue to fight over here. Stooks getting repaired, and looks like Cobrasfumantes is in fact completely giving up this area to make a push for this. Bit of a bold move. At the same time, stormtroopers have arrived from Paracaidistas. The 17th SS providing now some of their Panzer Grenadiers to provide some expertise for the 91st Luftlande Division in attacking the Americans. Riflemen coming under heavy fire from the Stooks, anti-tank guns moving up, and stormtroopers throwing the Gebalteladung, the bun grenade at the riflemen. Quickly knocking out 3 riflemen. All the riflemen are quick to get one of the stormtroopers, then 2 more riflemen go down. Veteran 2 of the riflemen, and the last man makes a run for it. Will he make it out of there, or will the stormtroopers' elite marksmanship get the bastard? Nope, he makes it out of there. But the pioneers may finish him off with their MP40. Nope, he makes it out of there. Stooks on the other hand are getting forced away from the north slowly as the anti-tank guns are creeping forwards, one covering the other. And taking points for the Vaterland over there, or at least retaking them. Nebelwerfer has taken up a slightly more central position to bombard the Americans over in the west as well, hitting the anti-tank guns a bit, doing some damage, pressing some troops. At the same time, Rangers have been equipped with Thompsons, and they tear through the pioneers, murdering them brutally, and leaving their corpses for their friends to find if they ever get that far. Still no veterans for the stormtroopers. He could consider getting a second squad of stormtroopers to add some more infantry to the mix, but no, he's finally getting infantry veterans 1, which I would say is about damn time. Rangers moving up, stormtroopers sneaking forwards. And there we go, assault going in against the Rangers. And Rangers end up in the middle of everything, taking heavy losses from the assault grenades. Oh, getting clammed up right as they retreat on the assault. Oh dear, they could go down. The Rangers could get taken out by the stormtroopers. Last man is crawling, heroically fired up, and looks like he will make it out of there as well. But nonetheless, Paracaidistas was able to inflict heavy losses, although the Fulskers here might finish off the bastard. Will they? Yes, they got him right by the cemetery. Still, Paracaidistas is managing to hold on to this cut-off point, denying the resources to Cobrasfumantes, although he is increasing the pressure, adding in more infantry, more anti-tank guns, although at the same time he's been forced back due to the Needleworth of bombarding the positions around here, ensuring the anti-tank guns can't remain there for long unless they fancy a nice incendiary supplement. Center, though, is quickly lost to the Americans again. Stormtroopers moving south. Second squad of Stormtroopers moving in. And looks like artillery is getting called in on the Stormtroopers right here. Question is, will Paracaidistas be paying attention, or will his attention be elsewhere? And looks like too late either way. The Stormtroopers went down. Direct hits. And for that matter, every 3 of the shots were in the exact same spot. And that's a 4th. Oh my goodness. Usually you don't see the artillery scatter that little. Usually there's more scatter than that. That's actually quite disturbingly impressive. Grenades getting knocked off the Stormtroopers. Misses. Will the Stormtroopers throw a bundle grenade at the enemy? The Geballte Ladung. There we go. Bundle up stick grenades. Does nothing as the riflemen were just retreating. What a shame. What a shame. Although one is dead, they could pick up the BAR and arm themselves. And now looks like Cobrasfumantes is giving up on tank destroyers. You could consider a bit of Shermans as well, upgunning them to help deal with infantry. But apparently the second armor is only sending up the tank destroyers on this fight. Figuring the armor is more needed elsewhere. Tank destroyers rolling forwards. Tank destroyer gone. Advancing, the Stooks are getting pushed back. Heavy damage inflicted upon them. And my pardons for that little cell phone thing. Someone sending me a text. Can happen. Americans slightly pushed away there, but nonetheless they have inflicted quite a bit of damage to the Germans, and the advance continues. And if Cobrasfumantes was to get artillery now, he could try and consider counter battery firing the Needleworth and knocking out. And there we go, Rifle leading an assault. One Stook already on the run, anti-tank, and doing more damage to one of the other Stooks. Other Stooks look like though they are escaping. Sticky bomb on the Stook, that could be it for it. And there we go, destroyed engine. It has no chance of escaping, and looks like it has been abandoned by the rest of the German army. And there you go, the Stook is down, blown up, but at the same time though, Paracaidistas has been making good effort, and the rest of the map advancing right there. Volkswagen secured with another BAR. Floating a bit of manpower again. Another tank destroyer rolling out for Cobrasfumantes. No howards as of yet. And interestingly enough, Cobrasfumantes has not been mining an awful lot. In fact, Paracaidistas has been mining more than his opponent, and considering how much territory that Cobrasfumantes has, he could consider some more mines, and I would definitely suggest doing so. There we go, Needleworth firing away. And going straight for the battle phase, Paracaidistas is likely moving on to the next tier of teching. Pioneers running into a bit of trouble as tank destroyers are rolling forwards, pushing them away with fervor and death. Riflemen moving in against the Stormtroopers down south, and Stormtroopers already in poor condition. There we go, full retreat, although they do manage to get one rifleman before that happens. Engineers hit the mine, get pinned. Most of the map is now once more falling to the Americans. More Needleworth has been pulled back, and looks like another... No, that's the anti-tank, and that's being moved back for healing, reinforcement, possibly some repairs as well. Nice move right there. Some players do seem to neglect their anti-tank guns, which can be a bit of a shame. Engineers advancing, taking some nasty losses. Stug moving forward, and there we go, getting one engineer. And the second one dies as well. Hurrah. Krieg barracks going out for Paracaidistas. Rifleman going in after the Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers need to be careful, and there we go. On the run. On the run, Stook getting repaired, and Krieg barracks up, now getting packs to help deal with the American tank destroyer foe. The 91st Luftlande Division is once more providing some assets to help the fight. Though again, another Stormtrooper squad might not hurt. 2 BAR Volksgrenadiers fighting him versus the Riflemen, and looks like they're getting pushed back. They are low on health. And still, veterans who could also benefit the German infantry a bit. Rather than them continue their hunt, will the Volkskas able to hold out, or will they be pushed away? Looks like they were forced away. There we go, full assault going up. Tank destroyers rolling in after the Stugs. Not quite clear about what is waiting for them. Anti-tank is soon done. Stug with a damaged engine could go down, like they will go down. Rear armor hit. Although looks like one tank destroyer is being focused down. There we go. Tank destroyer down. Stug down. Pack ready. The Stug could get knocked out as well. Tank destroyers following him. Unawares of what's waiting. There we go. The pack fires away, connecting with the side armor of the tank destroyer. Looks like he's trying to pull away the Wolverines now, as the pack has unleashed its trap. And another Stug arrives as well for Paracaidistas. There we go. Another hit to the rear of the tank destroyer. Nasty, nasty.
The storm is ready. Yes, Comrade.
The storm is ready.
We have 200 points.
And time to look at Cobrasfumantes again. Time to have a look at the mid-game analysis. Current situation, not exactly hunky-dory for the Germans. Not good. Not all beer and Skittles. He's been penned in. He's taken some nasty losses. Although, I mean, he's done some damage to the Americans as well. But he needs to pull forward. He needs to do some serious damage. He needs to take some ground. And he needs to do it soon. Otherwise, I mean, points are ticking down. And they will be ticking down fast, since all 3 victory points have been secured by the Americans and the 2nd Armored. So he needs to secure this area first, and then he needs to make a rush for the center, or go for this way and then make the center. Either way, he needs to establish a continuous front as well, usually by taking 2 of the victory points next to each other. And of course, he needs to do some damage. He needs more veterancy for his infantry, and he needs some more infantry, I think. And he also needs to consider equipping some of his stormtroopers with assault rifles to quickly tear through the American infantry. On the other hand, for Cobrasfumantes, it's about digging in. He needs mines up, he needs defenses, he needs, well, medic stations, what not. He needs to make sure he makes it as difficult and painful as possible for the Germans. He also needs to consider actually laying down a machine gun emplacement up here. So if Paracaidistas wants to go for this northern point, he can't just sneak in a single infantry squad. He has to commit a larger force as well there. And for that matter, machine gun emplacement here might also work. So there's something to consider there. Rather than going for the northern point and already mining that as well. Sneaky, sneaky. But let's return to the point. Fight. Yeah, I could return to the point as well, but that would be a lot less exciting than returning to the fight. Rather than securing the fuel point right there. Again, Americans gaining most of the map now. Observation post completed up there. So now he's the one with the lot of munitions floating into his cover. Cuffers. Not cover, but cuffers. Blah. And a veteran 2 anti-tank, and here definitely proving a problem. Looks like a stormtrooper might even... Nope, did not, but they are being a bit careful nonetheless.
Victory point under siege. The Germans are moving in.
Need for firing again, and artillery going in. Likely towards here. Or here. Yes, indeed, killing 1 Volksgrenadier in the process. Need with rockets connecting with the cemetery. Burning the graves. Desecrating their final rest. Victory point is accessible once more. Another engineer squad on the way for Cobrasfumantes. Interesting, interesting. Fuel's falling to the Wehrmacht, and finally veterans for the infantry. Definitely going to help the stormtroopers, or the Volkskas will have some minor benefit as well. Although, of course, he could also consider getting some more stormtroopers, die Stoßtruppen.
Munitions point under attack.
Points that are definitely ticking down for Paracaidistas. And let's just speed this up, since this is going to be an hour-long game. I might as well try to cut out some of the dull parts here and there, and there we go. Already assault going in. Assault getting assaulted by Paracaidistas Volksgrenadiers with 1 BAR. Flamethrower engineers moving in though for their own counter assault. Artillery going in as well. Looks like all Matt artillery has finally arrived as well, bombarding the German position. Volkswagen is pushed away. Stormtroopers moving into the centre, going for the victory point right there. Artillery going for interdiction. Artillery right here around the normal moving spot. Getting the repair pioneers. Stormtroopers almost securing the centre. Needleworth rockets going in against the anti-tank gun. Getting off several good hits on the crew. Burning them alive. Cooking them like hot dogs. And there we go. The anti-tank gun crew is roasted. Like some nicely roasted steaks? I don't know. Stukes holding up, the rifle engineers moving in. Quickly need to retake that victory point to keep up the victory point pressure on the Paracaidistas. Pack setting up position there. Stormtroopers setting up position by the tank trap. Not entirely sure where else to reside. It seems like tank destroyers rolling up. And he could very well get an off-map combat group now. I believe he has the command points for it.
Artillery reporting. Rifle squad has the objective.
And soon the manpower as well. A car again for Paracaidistas now. That's interesting. Interesting. Volska's making an advance, coming under fire from the anti-tank gun and a rifleman squad, although the riflemen in this case actually have less Browning automatics than the Volksgrenadiers. Oh, the irony. And very well, considering all the BARs they've picked up, that could very well be one of that squad's own weapons they've taken. And Stormtroopers getting unclear. Oh, they only managed to damage the rifleman, still bring a nasty trap rifleman going down, taking losses to the Stormtroopers and pushing them away, although coming under intense fire from the tank destroyer, quickly killing one of the Stormtroopers, pushing them away. Rifleman squad moving up from the south, full-on assault once more. Artillery going in here towards the center, towards the road. Direct hit on the pack, kills the entire thing. And going for that victory point, they come under fire from the armored car. And the Sturg, though they do take losses, but they also get a sticky bomb off on the armored car. Tank destroyers falling into center, coming under fire from the pack. Not enough artillery, and again, he could go for the off-map combat group. Now he's got the resources for it. He should definitely not be floating that much manpower, no matter what. There we go, retreating again. Volska's going for the pack and going to possibly open up on the tank. Just looks like one could go down very well. And there we go, out of control. Observation post, by the way, on the northern fuel. So that is nice as well. Looks like another supply upgrade. No attempt yet at off-map combat groups from Cobrasfumantes. Another artillery strike. Again towards here, a bit of blind firing going on from Cobrasfumantes and the second arm in the hopes of catching the vile crowd out in the open. There's so far not quite any luck, but points continue to tick down. Paracaidistas needs soon to really get a move on before all is lost. And certainly that could prove to be to the advantage of Cobrasfumantes if Paracaidistas becomes increasingly more desperate in the attempt to take back points. But it could also backfire on Cobrasfumantes. If he thinks victory is easy and he continues and his opponent's low on victory points, he could himself get very desperate to retake that point and just get those last points of draining on his opponent, and thus actually end up losing a lot, because always he will keep saying, well, I can take the losses because if I just take it, he will lose the game. And in that sense, they could end up wasting a lot of units and ultimately losing the game. I do see that happen from time to time as some players get desperate because they think victory is so close. Volska is going to make a move from the north again. Machine gun replacement might prove to be the better investment there for Cobrasfumantes to hold that area. Second supply upgrade there. No off-map combat groups. Come on, Cobras. Gets the off-map combat group.
We have a secured sector under attack.
And looks like Paracaidistas is lining up for the assault. Stukes moving in. Infantry moving in. Artillery getting called in, likely up here.
We're hitting one of our
and there we go. Direct hit on 4 of the Volkswagens, murdering them. And a shower of smoke and dirt. Stukes moving in. Rifleman going for that victory point. Points continue to tick down then. At the same time as the north point is falling. Looks like they might be able to take the southern point. Although the rifleman could go down. They could get murdered. The Stukes could tear through them. Down to 2 men. MG fire and auto cannon fire. It's inflicting one hell of a toll upon the Germans. And there we go. Rifleman squad got wiped out to a man leaning behind a Browning automatic. It looks like a Tiger has arrived from reserve sent in to help the 91st Luftlande hold the situation. Stormtroopers secure a BAR in the center, getting forced off though. Heavy damage being done to them, retreating down to one man. Tank destroying units nearby by the pack. Oh dear, coming under fire from the artillery as well, and an off-med combat group finally arrives, providing a 30 caliber and a mortar and a rifle squad and an anti-tank gun. I think the 30 caliber would definitely benefit from being moved up here to protect this area against any further German incursions. Either that or again, or a machine gun emplacement. So again, in that case, if Paracaidistas had wanted this, he would need to charge over a larger force to deal with it. Anti-tank can see it guarding the center, including a tank destroyer. And the assault has commenced, now with the Tiger to lead the charge for the fatherland. Volkskanadier is moving in towards the center. 45 victory points left for Paracaidistas. The pressure is definitely palpable. 30 caliber moving in, might set up into church. Mortar nearby as well. Rifle advancing, could get off sticky bomb on the Stug. Tiger taking heavy damage. Armored car taking nasty damage. Anti-tank gun getting overrun by Volkskanadiers. Not very nice. And there we go, the anti-tank gun crew dies a horrible death. Another one is nearby, but cannot get a shot on the Tiger at the moment. The church is getting nebelwerfed and lit on fire. At least parts of it are. And there we go, the Tiger takes a nasty hit from the anti-tank gun. Already down to half health. And smoke going down to allow him to take the central victory point without much risk of heavy damage. Lovely move right there from Paracaidistas. Cobrasfumantes. So rare we see smoke, but definitely a good use of smoke. Tank destroyer went down to the Tiger though. Looks like the church is getting bombarded. The 30 caliber needs to get out. Oh no! Direct hit to the church tower. Causes the entire thing to collapse on the 30 caliber crew. And the cafe takes a direct hit, and we're seeing Blitzkrieg being used to conduct a blitz retreat. Mein Gott! Nicht eine Blitzkrieg, sondern ein Blitzretreat. Let's return to Paracaidistas. Blitz retreating. Oh, they're also blitz attacking the rifle down south. Crashing them beneath their mighty treads. Pack firing away. We do see Paracaidistas advancing. He needs to get the victory points now. He's down to 27 points. 26, Rifle advancing. 25.
You have only 25 points. You must turn the
Need
battle
for firing. 24, 23. And again, a small force moves north, and again the 30 caliber would have paid off better up here, but Cobrasfumantes wanted everything in the center, and he lost a lot in the center. 19 points left for Paracaidistas. 18. 17. And there we go. Stops it at 17 for now. Stugs advancing, coming under fire from the anti-tank gun. Will there be armor-piercing rounds? That would definitely do a lot of damage to the Stugs. And artillery going in towards the center. Desperate attempt to hold. Both victory points have been rendered neutral, meaning only one with a victory point is Paracaidistas, meaning the points are ticking down. Close to losing a lot of his Stugs and his armored car. And main gun destroyed. So close! So close! Forces are being dispatched to the north to throw away the Volkskanadiers from there and regain the victory point. Flamethrower engineers failing in an assault on the Volkskanadiers in the center. Troops up here burning away at the Kraut. Grenades getting a lot of counter-assault from the Volkskanadiers. Victory point there being retaken. Will the Americans be able to get off a grenade on the Volkskanadiers or get up suppressive fire? And there we go, Volkskanadiers down. Flamethrower engineers moving up. The Volkskanadiers look like they will be losing. Assault continues into the center. Armored car pushes forward. They could flank around. And the Volkskanadiers were pushed away from the north. Artillery getting called in on the center. The Pioneers quickly rush away. And looks like the drain will continue once more on Paracaidistas. There we go, 16 points. Another off-map combat group providing more rifle and anti-tank gun, and another tank destroyer for Cobrasfumantes. And another stormtrooper squad has been summoned forward, giving him 4 squads of infantry to take on the fight with the Americans. 11 victory points. Anti-tank gun takes a hit from the anti-tank gun, the other one trying to get out of there. And Pioneer goes down to an artillery strike. 9 victory points left. Things are definitely desperate for Paracaidistas. Yet he's still taking the time to repair and keep his troops in tip-top condition. Talk about a man who is cool under pressure, apparently. He is not rushing forward, and we're seeing smoke again. Smoke to hold the center and to allow his troops to take the point in decent safety. But immediately taking a direct hit from the Tiger. Stormtroopers are rushing in and rushing forwards. Another anti-tank here could be recruited. There we go, central point has been secured. Bundle grenade on the riflemen does not do much except kill 3 of them, so that's actually something. 7 points, 6 points grenade on the stormtroopers. Kills 1, but the stormtroopers cannot be stopped. They will take the point for the fatherland. And there we go, the drain has been stopped at 5 victory points, getting definitely very close. Very, very close. Anti-tank guns and mortars definitely proving to be a bit of a bane. All the need for fire helps deal with it. Duke's advancing into the center, taking some rear hit.
We are losing territory.
Engineers, looks like they could be going down in their fight to regain. And there we go, the engineers are lost. The engineers are lost. The situation is definitely a bit dangerous at the moment. Anti-tank is going to get raked by the Germans. And up north we see some riflemen just holding the point, not doing much. Again, a machine gun replacement or 30 caliber would have been better. And looks like that mortar crew will be cleared out by the Sturmgeschütz. And there we go, the mortar is decrewed. Tiger moves forwards and gets a rifle just before it's about to retake the anti-tank, but there we go. Recruited. And there we go, dual hit on the Tiger, although it gets the gun crew in return. Nice hit, nice hit. Tank destroyer and anti-tank moving in after that. Tiger so low on health, and again making a move towards the center point. Stormtroopers rush out of cover, having hidden behind a tank destroyer and prepared a bundle grenade. Taping together what steel gun are they left, and there go the rifle go down. The venture point was rendered neutral, but it was not enough. At the same time, a push for the south, but there's an armored car providing protection. It can't. He's so desperate. And the stormtroopers regain the central victory point. And until we're going in an attempt to get the Tiger and any armor repairing there, I imagine. And the engineers definitely run into a bit of a problem there and are forced away. And another direct assault on that central victory point. Sticky bombs galore. Stormtroopers advancing once more. Might get off another bundle grenade in an attempt to get the Americans. Point rendered neutral once more. And there we go. The last Stormtrooper now veterans free, by the way. Oh my goodness, that bundle grenade was devastating. 7 riflemen, I think, went down to that one grenade. Absolutely insane. Another rifleman getting wiped out again. I think Cobrasfumantes is exactly getting what I worried he might do, which is get utterly desperate. He's willing to take extreme losses on half-baked risks. I mean, he's not thinking clearly. Again, he's so close to victory, so close that he can't imagine himself losing now. And again, he's taking some incredible risks to do so, and they're just not paying off. He's losing a ton of units now, a ton of units. And he keeps on pushing. He's absolutely blinded, blinkered. Artillery fires again. Of course, victory is not out of his grasp yet, but it is getting closer if he keeps on with that sort of assault. Stuke takes hit. Stormtroopers spotted. The Americans continue their relentless advance. Stuke takes a hit. And the engineers get blasted to bits. Grenadiers arriving now. Apparently actually training grenadiers. to replace some of the Volkskrone losses. Armored car went down to the howitzer, actually, impressively enough, and the Stug is immobilized in the center. Main gun destroyed, but it is still there in the fight, technically, but not with anything besides that. And there we go, it is finally gone. A victim to Cobrasfumantes anti-tank guns, another off-map combat group finding another tank destroyer and riflemen and mortars. And I think actually if he was to simply divert this entire force south, including the tank destroyer, he could get this victory point. But again, he seems to have been absolutely dead set on that victory point in the center, and that could very well hurt him very much. Tank destroyer stolen by some Volkskrone, but will he get out of there in time? Another one moving up. My goodness. Tiger watching over the entire thing. And there you go, 57mm gun being turned against its American owners. Or former owners, more specifically. Grenadiers fighting up here versus the rifle squad and the mortar. And I do believe we still have a rifle squad up there again. He needs to divert them away. He needs to free them up. But it's just not happening. Smoke going down towards the central victory point in an attempt to allow him to take it. And artillery's going in. He might get it, but what's this? What is this? Paracaidistas is charging in his Tiger. He's going to crush the infantry or force it away from the victory point. He knows he can't hit them. Oh, of course, mind you, grenades can still do a lot of damage, and they did. Dual sticky bombs. Immobilizing the Tiger. But he managed it. He managed it. He saved it. The Grenadiers are getting mortar. They're getting artillery now soon as well. Tiger could very well go down, and it is down. Artillery knocked out the Mächtige Tiger, but he saved the victory point. He saved it, and he forced away the Americans. Bloody damn close. Although looks like the Grenadiers might soon go down. And there we go. The mortar went down. Tank destroy. Got the armored car in return. And already fresh forces are being pushed forwards into the meat grinder by Paracaidistas. He needs to hold the victory point at all costs, otherwise the Führer will be most displeased. And looks like the anti-tank gun is getting flanked by the Stug. The MG clears out the crew, and it finishes off the tank destroyer, which was barely at full health. My God. This is getting incredibly bloody and violent and brutish as the game passes on, and as both players are now utterly desperate. Paracaidistas, because he's 5 victory points away from total defeat, and because Cobrasfumantes is 5 victory points away from total victory. It leads to a different kind of desperation, but at the same time it rather seems like Paracaidistas is that much more a bit cooler than Cobrasfumantes, who seems to be just going absolutely bonkers. Veteran 2 for the rifle up there, and again pushing up here. Veteran 3 for the rifle. He really needs something to free up these troops, because Veteran 3 in the center might just be able to help him. Rather than getting pushed away, more artillery being leveled against the Germans.
We're at 200 points.
Troops survive. The Volkskrone as the stormtroopers advance. 16 kills and 21 kills. They are remorseless killers. Armored car advances. Assault going in. Armored car could very well go down. Veteran 2, by the way. And there we go. Sticky bomb galore. Main gun destroyed. Assault going in on the rifleman. And armored car will likely go down. Counter-attack now from the stormtroopers, and the Volkskrone is going to clear out that anti-tank gun, holding the center once more. Stug advancing forwards. The Nebelwerfer has yet to be threatened by artillery, and currently has 22 infantry kills and even a tank kill. And rather looks like Cobrasfumantes is slowly but surely being utterly crippled by his own short-sighted desire for victory. And recruiting another anti-tank gun, Paracaidistas is absolutely bulking up his defenses with whatever equipment he can steal away from his opponents. He's stealing numerous anti-tank guns. He's even ordering his stormtroopers to take away some. I mean, he's really worried about American armor and tank destroyers. Of course, he probably also wants to just keep it out of his opponent's hands. So that's definitely interesting. Definitely going to cause a bit of a problem for Cobrasfumantes with all those anti-tank assets going to be leveled against him. And certainly going to be cheaper for Paracaidistas rather than building new anti-tank guns. So nicely down there. More tank destroyers out for Cobrasfumantes. Still no Shermans. I would have liked a few. Rifle advancing up the main road and taking nasty losses from the armoured car. Sticky bomb, tank destroyer rolling in. Rifle been taking hits. And looks like something went down in the north. Artillery vanished some sort of unit. Engineers going towards the victory point, but Stuke and anti-tank and stormtroopers, everything. Now the anti-tank is getting closer. They really want that tank destroyer. And there we go. It could go down by the next shot. Main gun destroyed. Oh no. Again, another desperate assault from Cobrasfumantes. And again, if he was simply to make a move towards here, victory would be his. But again, he can see only the sensor. He has gone completely myopic, I think. It's quite sad. And one anti-tank and crew went down in a blaze of dust and fire. But there's still one left. The mighty stormtroopers holding out behind their American-made anti-tank gun. More pioneers being sent out by the 91st Luftlande.
We're losing them as fast as we're getting them.
Situation is definitely getting critical. Well, it already is critical for Paracaidistas, since he's down to 5 victory points, but I mean, it's definitely not getting better for Cobrasfumantes. With every squad he gets murdered in his desperate attempt to get that central point. Completely ignoring that one down there. Grenadiers wiring off a bit, and then launching an assault as they spot a target of opportunity. Instead they get rushed by flamethrowers. It looks like the Grenadiers end up taking some heavy losses in the process. Down to very little health, and again another push for the centre, but again surrounded by so much stormtroopers. Pioneers running in again, another bun grenade. He keeps on doing it. Cobrasfumantes keeps on doing it. He is absolutely desperate and slightly bonkers. But why going down to block off the main route that currently that Cobrasfumantes has been taking to get towards that victory point? He's closing off the route between the church and the house, and a direct hit on a unit wipes it out. I could not see what unit it was. Another off-map combat group again. If he was to take that tank destroyer and a rifle squad, move all the way down here, have the tank destroyer crush the territory right here, have the rifle move in, take the point, and have the tank destroyer right cover, he could very well take this point. He could very well drain Paracaidistas of the last few remaining victory points. In fact, now he's so desperate, he's pulled away the unit up here, having nothing to protect up here, getting everything ready for one more last-ditch assault on this here, throwing in everything but the kitchen sink, and Paracaidistas is where he's wiring off everything he can to make it more difficult for Cobrasfumantes to make his advance. "26 kills on the full screen of these riflemen, tank destroyers, engineers advancing. Stuke moving up, and tank destroyer is going to just crush through the wire, of course, but running straight into an anti-tank gun in the process. More artillery going down. Tank destroyer went down pretty quickly. Oh, the American anti-tank gun firing away, getting a few hits there as well. But the point is getting blockaded. He can't get it due to his own artillery. Oh no. Cobrasfumantes, what are you doing? And he's calling in artillery on the Stuke and the anti-tank gun. That's a madness. Although one shot looks to be flying too far. And there we go, the entire anti-tank gun gets wrecked. Complete madness.
Allies are down to 100 points.
And anti-tank gun getting recruited as Cobrasfumantes feed the remainder of his army into this assault. Although, wait a minute, he's actually pulled back a unit squad to pull up hold there. But again, the mix of German infantry holds the center, ultimately. And now his support units are in trouble as Paracaidistas, stormtroopers and Fulskers move forwards and even wire off the area. And artillery getting called in on the barbed wire blockade and the infantry accompanying it. And immediately blowing up all the barbed wire, although likely to kill the stormtroopers on the retreat, down to one man. Oh, looks like he makes it out of there. Grenadiers pushing up. Mortar round hits the armored car. Another Tiger tank rolls forth. And the cafe collapses. Finally, after all the destruction directed against it. And another smoke barrage. Another insane attempt to get it. Another desperate attempt to get it. But the Tiger and the Stug is here, and the Stug just charges straight out the rifle, showing they can't get to the victory point without getting crushed. He is remorseless, without mercy. And the Tiger itself actually gets smoked in this case, probably making it harder for it to hit anything. The Stug is still there, and the Grenadiers are still on the other side of the smoke. So let's go for Cobrasfumantes right there. Another off-map combat group. And again, he should merely just go for that other point and he would win. Assault on the anti-tank gun nearby and the engineers. And the rifle for that matter. Anti-tank gun decrewed. Tanks are taking a direct hit. Tiger moving forwards. Getting some very nice hits right there. Rifleman getting murdered, and again he's sending his veterancy fleet on their own. Again, Cobrasfumantes, it's utterly desperate. More artillery going in. More artillery. Mehr. Tiger taking a nasty hit. And a sticky bomb going off right there. And all quiet. Speeding things up a bit, as it is a long match. Fresh Grenadiers. More artillery, another madcap assault. And again, that point down there is utterly neglected by Cobrasfumantes and Paracaidistas. And a Grenadier squad has been sent on a special mission towards the victory point behind everything else. Mortar round directly on the anti-tank, unlike the American zone, hitting them. Not good. Nicht gut, meine Herren. And there we go, going for the point. Things are definitely getting more desperate again. Another push for that central point. But the north one has fallen. The north one has fallen. Just as he gets the center one, the north is falling. Oh, the irony.
They're losing territory.
And the points continue to tick down for him. damage. Another Stug rolls forward. Tiger rolls forward. 1 point left. And game over. Cobrasfumantes is lost. A desperate attempt again to take that point. Ultimately, what killed Cobrasfumantes was tunnel vision. Again, that desperate feeling he could get victory. He was so close, so close. And he utterly lost perspective. He utterly lost the realization again that if he's putting everything on this point must be open again. All he needed was a small opening, but it never came because again, Cobrasfumantes was utterly dead set on the central victory point. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Always try to keep cool. Always try to keep a perspective on things. Because otherwise, I mean, he wasted a ton of units taking that point when he could have easily have taken that one over there. So, I mean, strategy is important, and overall view of the fight is, of course, important as well. But also, Paracaidistas had a rubbish start. I mean, he could easily have lost this again. Another way he could have lost this again is if Cobrasfumantes earlier on had simply fortified this machine gun emplacements. He could also have won this. Because again, then Paracaidistas would not have had it in time. There were so many things that could have been done differently, but again, Cobrasfumantes did not prepare himself defensively, and in the end, he was offensively narrow-minded, which did not help him. But Paracaidistas, again, that start for him really set him back. I mean, that overall lack of infantry later on, the overall lack of infantry veterancy, the weird idea to go for the battle phase and then not going for the Panzer Command. He could also have considered upgrading the Stormtroopers and the Grenadiers with some more anti-infantry weapons. And of course, Cobrasfumantes could probably benefit with a single Sherman up-gun. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.